Change sometimes happens unexpectedly, silently, rapidly. It transforms our lives and us, often in ways that stir our most profound sentiments. It challenges our assumptions as well as what we may have taken for granted. David's new collection arose from the unbidden change now underway. We look back and realize that we are different, somehow transformed, quite possibly forever. Perspective is altered, as are feelings about the past. Even positive change can deliver bittersweet notes, such as the realization that we are light years away from our earliest memories. Change is common to all of us and is a grand, wide open door of opportunity to offer support and also to accept it on this journey of varying destinations. Like the exquisite chrysalis, full of future promise, change can be a golden opportunity to reflect upon where we might be headed and how we'll choose to experience the newness. Draping form are brooding grays, cool, calming hues, silver sparks of energy, and gold flecks of indispensable optimism. This exhibition illuminates the reactions we may experience in facing life's challenges, present and future, the reassurance we can extend to others, and the found hope in the willingness to seek out a new day. Welcome to Metamorphosis.
So you can see that I've got 10 paintings that are all this year. So we'll just go to the left-hand side of the room.
The first two paintings are entitled Boundaries and Gravity. These works convey states we might find ourselves in when confronted with unexpected change. Feelings such as disorientation, loneliness, and hopelessness.
Yes, and indeed, as you may be able to see, I did paint these two together. So they started off as a pair, but the kind of idea diverged a little bit with the motifs that I thought were going to work effectively. So they took quite different paths, but both with a little bit of a disquieting feel. You know, the subjects closed in on their world and perhaps not yet recognizing change. I guess the start of our transition and the intensity of not knowing what's beyond. So we'll just move to a couple more paintings. There we go. So
Chrysalis 1 and 2. These images model a sense of emptiness, of seeming that we possess nothing which can help our predicament.
Yeah, and there's kind of an erosion of being in some sense through an empty shell, perhaps also like the wind of change, perhaps the chrysalis too. I was thinking about sort of the emptiness of exterior, and so they both are kind of experiments in abstraction, and I was thinking of like what's left or an artifact after things have gone past, and they formed a pair together. So although they weren't painted exactly together, they were sort of conceived of and worked on one after the other. Okay, so we'll just move to our fifth painting, which is right here. Here we are. So
this one, Beginnings. Reflecting the dawn of consciousness, this is a painting of quiet, reflective moments, sometimes long awaited, when hope summons our courage and capabilities.
Yeah, and indeed, this was probably the first in conception and one of the last in completion. I had the idea of the two figures for some time, but I honestly I had no idea what to do with them, and or how they should be presented. But this idea of an ambiguous new beginnings, you know, whether it's ominous or positive, it's not known, it's just new. And the painting came together with this kind of heavily sort of mid-tone palette with some quite gestural brushwork. If I just go in a little bit, that's right. You can see that there is although I've tried to be true in some sense to form, I've also tried to make there's some quite sort of heavy sort of gestural sense to the work because there is the turbulence of change. Okay, and so then we will proceed on to a feeling of positivity. So this one is insight.
Yeah. Insight. This work presents courage matured, firmly rooted, with consciousness in motion out of then and into the future of our making.
Yes, and indeed, this you can see that here I've got a quite dramatic change in the way I'm painting, and in fact, what you're seeing is a lot is predominantly metal flake. So I had actually experimented that with Chrysalis 1 and 2, and here I'm using pretty extensively metal flake as the medium along with acrylic. And the one of the unfortunate things in these still two-dimensional galleries is you can't get the idea of light changing on the painting. So I do hope that sometime we can get together and see them for real, because of course they changed, you know, regardless of perspective and light. It's quite a delight, and this painting, yeah, I think brought me into a feeling of a new day, and there's a kind of drama to it, which I don't think has been in my work before. So there's a certain sort of more extrovert feel, I think, to this new work that I've been pursuing.
Dave, are you able to give us a bit more of a close-up on that?
There we go. So is that's a pretty nice close-up, isn't it?
Yeah, there's much more detail in that one.
Okay, so we'll just move to the next one, which is optimism.
Optimism radiates confidence and brims with a tenor of sharing, benevolence, and limitations cast away.
Yeah, and here I strongly had the feel of past and future, the sense of the sort of burnished or tarnished metal with that's come alive and has a sense of future potential. So I just thought that was very interesting to me, that you had sort of the sense of nothingness in the past that was once again alive. And then we move to the next one.
Beyond. Here resides experience, wisdom, and openness. What we are now is simply more for the benefit of many.
Yeah, and this one is probably was the most complicated that I developed. It started as an exploration on playing with the metal flake and getting form to work with a degree of abstraction. And then as I worked, I felt I had to sort of paint it out, if you like. So it became a little bit of a portrait too. So there's a little more realism than I'd intended in the first place, and I kind of like the juxtaposition between the feeling of solidity of the metal with the humanity looking beyond the present. So with that, we'll just move to the final two pieces, which are a large pairing, which kind of underpin the exhibition. And the first is the title piece, Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, a glorious phase of transformation out of the shell of our former selves. Although a constant process from birth onwards, big change forces dramatic new states of being.
Yeah, and this piece to me, I felt showed both confidence and balance, a sense of comfort with if you like, the new reality in the fullness of change, because the new material is asserting itself on the old form, if you like. And then finally we come to the final piece, which I should say I painted these two initially together as a pair, but you can see they diverged quite dramatically. And here we have Spirit.
Spirit portrays the weightlessness of joy. We could not possibly know it were it not for our journey through the expanse of change to the celestial state of renewed spirit.
Yeah, and this painting, I had the idea early for if you like, some metal leaf in the hair, way before I attempted any kind of painting, and then it developed quite dramatically in different ways. The pose changed quite a lot, and the idea became more and more extrovert. So this, I think, has to be the most sort of outward-looking painting that I've completed, and I think it's kind of right that it becomes the final piece for this exhibition. So there we've got the 10 works that I've done this year, and together they form a grouping which I don't think I could have conceived at the beginning of the year as being anything like this form. And I'm quite delighted to be able to present them today, and fascinated to see where the journey takes us beyond.